Conduction of electricity through gases. J J Thomson. Biographical data. Thomson was born December 18, 1856, Cheetham Hill, near Manchester, England. He died August 30, 1940, Cambridge, Cambridgeshire, England. Thomson is buried in Westminster Abbey, near Sir Isaac Newton. J J Thomson is credited with the discovery of the electron, the negatively charged particle in the atom. He is known for the Thomson atomic theory. Many scientists studied the electric discharge of a cathode ray tube. It was Thomson's interpretation that was important. He took the deflection of the rays by the magnets and charged plates as evidence of bodies much smaller than atoms. Thomson calculated these bodies had a large charge-to-mass ratio and he estimated the value of the charge itself. In 1904, Thomson proposed a model of the atom as a sphere of positive matter with electrons positioned based on electrostatic forces. So, he not only discovered the electron but determined it was a fundamental part of an atom. His work was so great that it cannot be compassed in a few words. His death is one of the greatest losses ever to occur to British science. Describing Ernest Rutherford upon his death at age 66, Thomson, then 80 years old, was once his teacher. What is a cathode ray tube? Flash of the cathode rays. Even without consciously realizing it, most of us are already aware of what a cathode ray tube is. Look at any glowing neon sign or any old-fashioned television set, and you are looking at the modern descendants of the cathode ray tube. Physicists in the 19th century found out that if they constructed a glass tube with wires inserted in both ends, and pumped out as much of the air as they could, an electric charge passed across the tube from the wires would create a fluorescent glow. This cathode ray also became known as an electron gun. Later and improved cathode ray experiments found that certain types of glass produced a fluorescent glow at the positive end of the tube. William Crookes discovered that a tube coated in a fluorescing material at the positive end would produce a focus dot when rays from the electron gun hit it. With more experimentation, researchers found that the cathode rays emitted from the cathode could not move around solid objects and so traveled in straight lines, a property of waves. However, other researchers, notably Crookes, argued that the focused nature of the beam meant that they had to be particles. Physicists knew that the ray carried a negative charge but were not sure whether the charge could be separated from the ray. They debated whether the rays were waves or particles, as they seemed to exhibit some of the properties of both. In response, J J Thomson constructed some elegant experiments to find a definitive and comprehensive answer about the nature of cathode rays. Thomson's first cathode ray experiment. Thomson had an inkling that the rays emitted from the electron gun were inseparable from the latent charge, and decided to try and prove this by using a magnetic field. His first experiment was to build a cathode ray tube with a metal cylinder on the end. This cylinder had two slits in it, leading to electrometers, which could measure small electric charges. He found that by applying a magnetic field across the tube, there was no activity recorded by the electrometers and so the charge had been bent away by the magnet. This proved that the negative charge and the ray were inseparable and intertwined.